Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. It's the Dr. Greg Show, November 30th, 2025. Great night tonight. Got a lot going on, a lot of plans. We're going to go, starting today is our Climate Change Week, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be going through the latest IPCC report. We're going to be talking about the consensus and why we believe that humans are the cause of climate change, the current outlook, the current ideas, the current technologies that can help mitigate how humans are impacting the environment, what we can do to stop that, right? What we can do to make a big difference and improve our quality of life at the same time, right? I think that's a big point when we need to talk about this kind of stuff. You know, we need to understand the problems that we are having as humans on the environment, but this isn't something that we need to regress from society in order to fix. You know, we can and currently have technologies that we can use in order to help mitigate our problems, live more harmoniously with nature. Because as environmental health grows, human health grows as well. They are tied one and the same. So if we started taking care of the environment, our health would also improve. It's a big thing to think about. But first, some science news. I wanted to go over this article. It's very interesting. Let's see here. All right. And it is called 5 Years of AlphaFold. 5 years of AlphaFold. These charts show how it has revolutionized science. So if you're not aware, AlphaFold is Google DeepMind's release into how protein-protein interactions can be predicted by AI. And, well, let's see how it's actually improved science, or what it's done in order to change science. Since it's been unveiled in 2020, Google DeepMind's game-changing AI tool has helped researchers all over the world predict 3D structures of hundreds of millions of proteins. This is an AlphaFold TMEM81, a membrane protein involved in the fusion of egg and sperm. Oh, interesting. There you go. And that must be what people think that would be the start of life, I guess. There it is. Okay, for nearly a decade, Andrea Polly, a biochemist at the Research Institute of Molecular Pathology in Vienna, has been trying to work out how sperm and egg get together. In 2018, her laboratory found a protein on the surface of zebrafish eggs called bouncer that has an essential role for fertilization. But Polly's team and others struggled to show how bouncer recognized sperm cells. Then a revolution happened. 5 years ago, see if this works. Boom. Is that good? Yeah, there we go. 5 years ago, in late 2020, researchers in London-based Google DeepMind unveiled AlphaFold 2, the artificial intelligence tool for predicting protein structures, generated stunningly accurate 3D models that, in some cases, were undistinguishable from experimental maps, dominating a long-running protein prediction challenge. The first version of AlphaFold was announced in 2018, and the predictions weren't nearly as good as its successor, which limited its impact. In 2021, release of AlphaFold 2's code and a database that has swelled to hundreds of millions of predicted structures means that scientists can now get a reliable prediction for almost any protein. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Having models for anything has made a huge impact, says Janet Thornton, a bioinformatician at the European Bioinformatics Institute in Hixton, UK, part of the European Molecular Biology Laboratory. It's like the second coming of structural biology. Rapid discovery. For Polly's team, the software shone a light on a path they might otherwise never have found. The model predicted that a protein called TMEM81 stabilized a complex of two other sperm proteins, creating a pocket for a bouncer to bind to. Experiments backed up the tool's prediction, and AlphaFold speeds up discovery, says Polly, and we used it for every project. So, I mean, this demonstrates what I talk about so often is that it's awesome. AI is great for establishing hypotheses, right? And this is the big thing, right? It creates creating a pocket. Experiments backed up the tool's predictions, right? We have to, we have to test these. Now, I'm curious how many other proteins that it actually actually had to test in order to see this. There's no way that there's just going to be, one protein. They probably had a swath of different proteins that they tested. But that is interesting. So this is peak citations. So as the 2021 Nature paper describing AlphaFold 2 has been cited nearly 40,000 times by other studies. Unlike some other highly cited biomedical studies from 2021, including key COVID-19 figures, citations of Alpha 2 paper aren't dropping off. Man, I remember that. So many early COVID-19 ones. So you have the other public papers and the so we're looking at how time on the left-hand side, right? Time publications over time here. And this, I mean, that is just, there seems to be some plateau once since publication at 4 years, but man, pretty strong. That is pretty incredible. Over 800 publications. That's pretty amazing. All right. Her team's paper about this, published in 2024, is one of nearly 40,000 journal articles to cite the 2021 paper describing AlphaFold 2. Unlike many other highly cited life science and biomedical papers from the period, including seminal reports about the COVID-19 pandemic, interest in AlphaFold doesn't seem to be slowing down. DeepMind's John Jumper, who shared half of the Nobel Prize in Chemistry with Chief Executive Demis Hassabis, for developing AlphaFold, says he is deeply proud of how useful the tool has been for scientists such as Polly. When will someone win one of these major awards because they used AlphaFold? He wonders. Part of the AlphaFold's 2 rapid impact, they already have, dude. You did. Literally, you won the big thing because you used AlphaFold. Like, that was literally you, man. Part of AlphaFold 2's rapid impact is down to its accessibility, says researchers. Google DeepMind made the underlying code and other parameters freely available to scientists, and it quickly became possible for them to run the software themselves at scale. This is what Polly's team did. So again, here's the global appeal. The AlphaFold database, number of users, 3 million number of users here, and then China, the United States, so we almost have double the amount of China, UK, India, Germany, Japan, Hong Kong, South Korea, and Spain. Interesting. That's about what I would assume are the big players in the space of just research in general. Very cool. Some 3.3 million users in more than 190 countries have accessed the AlphaFold database, which it hosts on EMBL EBI and contains more than 240 million structural predictions, encompassing most known proteins. More than 1 million AFDB users come from low and middle income countries, including China and India. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the fact that they made it open and available and free to science. Hey, Ducray. That's pretty incredible. The field in which AlphaFold seems to be the best that made its biggest impact is structural biology. Researchers who use AlphaFold submitted around 50% more structures to a repository of experimental models called the Protein Data Bank than did non-AlphaFold baseline. of structural biology researchers finds a Google DeepMind funded study of AlphaFold's impact released this week. AlphaFold 2 use is also associated with higher rates of PD, the protein database submissions, than those of the researchers using other frontier methods in AI. Okay. So it seems like AlphaFold specifically is even better than other ones. Okay, cool. AI frontier, PP frontier. So it's just way better. Interesting. Cool, man. All right. Well, that makes sense to me. I mean, the biggest thing is just the amount of hypotheses that it can, impact, and I think that that's good. This is the Innovation Growth Lab by Google, AI and science, kind of looking at the way that it's impacted. Is this features resource? Read the summary report. Just got released this week. 550,000 publications are linked to AlphaFold, directly and indirectly, involving almost 2 million unique researchers. Wow. That's incredible. It's hard to not... Oh, cool. Then it's looking at all the neural networks that it has. Structure of the dataset construction pipeline. It illustrates the multi-stage process for building our dataset, designing a track AlphaFold 2 impacts from its core publications to adjacent and downstream research, as well as the applications outside of the immediate sphere. Okay, so it's looking at how it actually creates an impact here. That makes sense. So you'd start off with your structural biology papers, right? That we kind of all, like we were talking about, and then now it's a citation to those structural biology things, right? And then now it's the citations, the intent, the counterfactuals, all learning about that thing. So it's not just AlphaFold, that has an impact. It's everything around it too. And then labs and authors, conferences. You learn about how a protein interacts, and you can apply that to a lot of different other things. That's cool. I'm surprised how well it's taken off. I mean, other than like CRISPR, and CRISPR and AlphaFold seem to have this similar thing where, CRISPR at the very onset was just available to everyone. They didn't worry about IP or patent. They just put the sequence out and they let everyone use it. And the same guys, Google making it available to scientists, and that is the reason why it's taken off so much, right? Because then you don't have to pay for it. And academics, despite what everyone tells you, you are, trying to shoot for the moon with the used wet Amazon boxes out back. You are not, your budgets is so small in an academic lab. So the fact that you could have some next generation technology, you can have something like that you can go to, is gigantic. So I'm not surprised. Very cool, guys. All right. All right. Okay. All right. So that was for our science news section, ladies and gentlemen. And now, we are going to be starting our climate change section. Going to be very awesome. So, in order to find, basically, what the IPCC is, this is where everything kind of starts. This is with the IPCC. This is the intergovernmental panel on climate change. So there are labs in the world, right, that study how things are changing, how the the weather is changing, right? Or how animal populations are changing, or the ecology and the biomes and the the movement of nutrients in in an ecosystem, or um, the, lots of different fields of science. So basically, this intergovernmental panel creates a mechanism where all those different parts of these different hairs, these different feelers out, and like how the world is working, kind of come together and all make a report on the current state of climate change. So this is like basically consensus building, and the a way that science can understand what the process is, and it's a huge undertaking. It's gigantic. I mean, maybe 1,000 authors. It's unbelievable. The intergovernmental body it's an intergovernmental body of the United Nations. Oh, I didn't know that. Its job is to provide governments at all levels with scientific information that they can use to develop climate policies. The World Meteorological Organization, WMO, and the United Nations Environmental Program set up the IPCC in 1988. The United Nations endorsed the creation of the IPCC later that year. It was a secretariat in Geneva, Switzerland, hosted by the WMO. It has 195 member states who govern the IPCC. The member states elect a bureau of scientists to serve throughout an assessment cycle. A cycle is usually 6 to 7 years. The bureau selects experts in their fields to prepare the IPCC report. There is formal nomination process by governments and observer organizations to find these experts. The IPCC has 3 working groups and a task force which carries out its scientific work. So we're talking like a massive undertaking. It's just massive. Yeah, it's leading climate scientists. I mean, this is like the biggest honor, that you could get as a scientist to work for something like this. And then we're on the 6th assessment, and that is what we're going to read. So the 6th assessment, it came out in 2024. Let's see. No, 2023. Sorry. The full report's going to be 1,000 pages long, and then there's the synthesis report. There's a couple of different volumes, a couple of different reports. But AR6 Synthesis Report. I'm finding it. Yeah, it's gigantic, but we're not going to go through the entire one. But I wanted to show you guys like some of the big, the smaller version, the summary. The summary for policymakers is usually a good one. They're literally trying to make it as easy to understand and really like boil down like what's happening. The graphs are beautiful, and but the synthesis report has some really cool stuff. I was going through here too, so maybe we could kind of like go through both. I think I've gone through. I went through the policymakers ones, but I haven't gone through the full one yet. Yeah, this one was interesting. Yeah, this is a good one. So this is the 81 pager. This is the policymakers. And this is the full one. Okay, perfect. We're all set up. Okay. All right. So this is the policymakers rundown. All right. This is the way that the governments of the world are kind of understood how they understand the world and how we approach this to policymakers is really important, obviously, right? Because how we convey what's happening is a really important matter. How we tell them in actions how what they can actually change. So how it starts. So here we can go. We can go in here. So we're going through the policymaker synthesis report right now. Hey user, what's up, man? We are going through the IPCC last synthesis report that was put out in 2023. There's probably going to be another one in 28, but they were like right in between it. But I wanted to, show this. Oh, interesting. Here's the slide deck for the synthesis report. Maybe this is what we go through. Oh, this is cool. Okay, let's go through this real quick. So this is the synthesis report. Okay, cool. So yeah, as you guys can see, there's lots of different reports that they put out. It's not just like one thing. You know, it's a lot that they're going through. You know, every couple of years, you know, they'll put out special editions or they'll put out things. Global warming at 1.5, climate change in land, oceans, climate, impacts and adaptation, vulnerability, physical sciences. But yeah, the warning. Pace and scale of climate action are insufficient to tackle climate change. So we just basically need to do more, right? Adverse effects from human-caused change will intensify. I can't speak tonight. So as we increase, or as we live longer, we're just going to see more and more of this, basically. Water scarcity and food production. Food production is going to be harder because we're not going to have the as nutrient, you know, the ground isn't going to be as good. The yields aren't going to be as good in a climate that's not as secure. Health and well-being, you know, that's as human health is tied to environmental health, so it's going to be tough. Cities, settlements, and infrastructure, and ecosystem structure, species range shifts, and changes in the timing. Extremes become more widespread and pronounced with every increment of warming. So yeah, as it goes through, basically wow, look at that, like middle of North America, like right in the middle, like right where like North Dakota is. That's crazy how hot it is. See, man, look at that, it's just radiating out. Look at 4 degrees, man. That's just wow. Wow, look at Brazil. That is crazy. Okay, this doesn't have any graphs, which is kind of boring. All right, let's go back here. Okay, this is what they're talking about. So, observe widespread and substantial impacts and related losses and damages attributed to climate change. Physical water availability, agricultural crop production, animal and livestock health and productivity, fishery yields and aquaculture production. So basically how we produce them, the livestock that we have, and the ability for them to live longer is just going to be harder and harder. What was the green slash here? Let's see. The green slash is adverse and positive impacts. Oh, yeah. Physical water availability. Oh, because water availability for the ice shelf, like ice sheets melting. Is that why? Animal and livestock productivity. How could there be positive impacts on that one? Huh. I don't know. Infectious diseases, malnutrition, and harm from wildlife, mental health, displacement, and then basically there's the extent of which current and future generations will experience a hotter and different world depends on choices now and in the future. So these are the impacts driven by the multiple physical climate conditions, which are increasingly attributed to human influence, right? So medium confidence that humans influences are the attribution of observed physical climate changes, right? Increase in agricultural and ecological drought, increase in the weather, in fire weather, increase in compounding flooding, likely. So we've gone from medium confidence to likely confidence that humans are influencing this. Heavy, an increase in heavy precipitation, very likely, glacier retreat, global sea level rise. Now virtually certain. Upper ocean acidification and increase in hot extremes. So it's directly because of CO2 concentrations, right? So upper ocean acidification is from the CO2 dissolving in water, and then CO2 dissolving in water yields carbonic acid, which then makes the oceans more acidic. Increase in hot extremes, that would definitely be from CO2 as well. The extent of which current and future generations will experience hotter and different worlds depends on the choices now and in the future. So this is the rate of the change that we have seen, or global temperature change above 1850 to 1900 levels. Oh, and these are the people that are born in this different time. So if someone's born in 1980, okay, yeah, they've seen a lot of years. These are high, very low future emission scenarios. So warming countries beyond 2100. Future experiences depend on how we address climate change. So basically, very low emissions standards, and we can actually kind of maintain what we have now. Low emissions. It's going to get a little bit hot. Intermediate to very high. We're having significant warming to the point that it's going to be very bad. So that means a kid born in 2020 is going to be 70 years old in 2090. So it's going to have a huge impact on their entire life and for anyone ever in the future born then, basically. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. We have an inflection point, right? We have an ability to actually make a big difference in people's lives right now. Pretty impressive. So these are all the different categories, right? How much we can limit warming. And so the category in WG111 WG3, CI to C8, and there's just the different limits of warming that we can stop at different stop gaps. I don't know what we're currently on. I want to say above 2. I'm not 100% sure. But that's something to think about. I don't know where we are. Hey, what's up, man? Future climate change. Oh, yeah, this is a crazy graph. So with every increment of global warming, regional changes in mean climate and extremes become more widespread and pronounced. That makes sense. So the world at 1.5 degrees hotter, basically it becomes manageable, right? The world at 2.5. Oh, the last time global surface temperatures was sustained at or above 2.5 was over 3 million years ago. Wow. So basically, humans weren't around 3 million years ago. So therefore, it's very hard to understand what we're going to do in a world that we, weren't evolved to live on. That is the problem. The climate changes, but it might change to a point in the world's history where we weren't there. So it's very tough. So urbanization further intensifies heat extremes. Yeah, I mean, all of Europe is just cooked, man. Look at Brazil. Look how Brazil gets like just crazy. The heart of South Africa is just completely different. Nothing was around 3 million years ago. Yeah, there was. What are you talking about? There's tons of stuff. There was hominids. That's where Lucy came from. Australopithecus africanus. That was yeah. Future climate change is predicted to increase the severity of impacts across natural and human systems and will increase regional differences. So risk of species loss. So this is also something that we are doing, right? Like at the same time that we are hurling the world in an area in a future that has worse and worse climate outcomes, we are also at the same time pushing it to a place where entire species are going extinct already. This isn't because of climate change. This is just because of human activity. So this is percentage of animal species and seagrasses exposed to potentially dangerous temperatures. So you can see in the southern hemisphere, it just like lights up. And then as you increase, the percentage gets higher under these 2-degree ones. Now we're like anything equatorial, anything even closely touching to the equatorial. Includes 30,000 species of birds, mammals, reptiles, amphibians, marine fish, benthic marine invertebrates, krill, cephalopods, corals, and seagrasses. So then at 3, there's just, oh my gosh, look at the Philippines just completely taken out basically. In India, wow, look how hot that is. That's crazy. The heat, humidity to and risk to humans. Okay, so we're looking at, oh my gosh, wow. So the very end, we have the entire year is inhospitable to humans. Days per year when the combined temperature and humidity conditions pose a risk of mortality to individuals. So right now, just like any type of gold is 1, 0 is white. So then at 2 and 4, I mean, basically from the 4 to 5, we have basically every single day, every single place in the world has some type of weather extreme that could, have a problem with you. Food production. So we're looking at maize and fisheries. Fisheries would increase. Yeah, fisheries would increase in the Arctic. Okay, so that's what they were talking about in that, because they were talking about how. Thank you, call me Bob. They were talking about how fisheries were going to be increased, and I was like, why would that be? Because their food's going to be harder to get, the animals is going to be harder to raise, and it's because of the more space. They're going to have more space in order to do it. It's going to open up the Arctic entirely for fisheries if we want. Okay, so the risks are growing and increasing with every increment of warming. So high risks are now assessed to occur at lower global warming levels. So this is the thing that people actually say, yeah, dude, I studied it. Yeah, Ruben, I actually studied this in college, man. This is like actually, I'm an ecologist. My undergrad was all in this. We not only is climate change real, but we study how humans are impacting the environment. that's like something that we do already. So no, it's not. Not at these levels. It's not. It's not a hoax. It's not, man. It's again, you've been lied to. Unfortunately, this is the second time. With vaccines and now climate change. So, unfortunately, you've bought into the lies again, and I am the one that's telling you the truth, man. And that's just how it is. I don't really know what to tell you. Okay. The risks are now increasing, so high risks are now assessed. So this is the 2014, right? So this is the AR5, which is on the left, and then the AR6, the 2022. So basically, every scenario, it's getting worse, quicker. It's going like this is a big thing with climate change skeptics and stuff. They always say how bad the models are, and the models are always wrong, and they are in a way. But what it is that they're too conserved for the rate of change that could happen. It's basically growing faster than they can even expect. And that is the problem. That's the problem that we have right now, is that the change is happening too rapidly, way too rapidly. Yeah, you see sea level rises and species going extinct. I mean, Ruben, how would you know if species are going extinct or migrating? How would you have any way of tracking that? Yeah, exactly, user. That's a great line of question. How do you know, dude? How do you know? The risks differ by system. So types of wildlife damage, permafrost degradation, biodiversity loss, dryland water scarcity, tree mortality, carbon loss, basically all of these systems. So you're just Ruben. That doesn't make any sense, man. So again, so why are all these things happening? If humans aren't causing this, okay, give me another hypothesis to show why these things are happening. Wildlife damage, permafrost degradation, biodiversity loss, dryland water scarcity, tree mortality, carbon loss. Like, why are all these things happening at the same time if it's not for humans? Give me a workable and testable hypothesis. And that's just land-based systems. Here we're having more risks too for water coastal systems too. So water, coast, and warm water corals, kelp forests, seagrass meadows, epipelagic, rocky shores, salt marshes. Explain to me how these are all being happening at the same time. Risk to coastal geographies increase with sea level rise and depend on responses. Global mean sea level rise relative to 1900. And cool the city by 10 plus degrees. No, dude. Phoenix? Dude, they're not going to plant trees and cool the city by 10 degrees. That doesn't make any sense, bro. That's not how it works. No, that doesn't make any sense too, like that doesn't make any sense. Urban atoll islands, Arctic communities, large tropic agricultural deltas, resource-rich coastal cities. So basically, the risks to coastal geographies increases with sea level rise, right? And depends on responses. So the no response is on the left, and the maximal potential response is on the right. So urban atoll islands are just basically screwed for sure, no matter what. Arctic communities are really severely impacted. Large tropical agricultural deltas, man, that'd be tough. And then resource-rich coastal cities. So a low likelihood and high likelihood impact storyline, increasing ice sheet instability processes by 2100. Man, look at that difference, though. I mean, we're looking at 50 versus 100 centimeters rise difference. No, it's not just garbage. No, it's not just pollution. No, no, that's definitely not just plastics, dude. That's we're talking about the entire biome. You guys aren't engaging with actually what's happening. This is the IPCC 6 AR6 thing. If you wanted the source, subscribe to my Substack. They're all there. No, that's not how it works, Ruben. That's not how it works. More carbon, more plants, more carbon. Eat more carbon. No, that's not how it works, man. Yeah, it just doesn't. That's not. Yeah. A lot of people nest in the chat. It's very odd. It's very interesting to me. Hi, Michael. What's up? Sure. Oh, I have no idea. I don't do astronomy. I'm not an astronomer, so I don't know. No, no. I'm a microbiologist. I do molecular biology, so I do like I change genes and genomes around. Oh, I did hear about the Atlas thing. Yeah, I just yeah. I don't know if it's unusual or not. Like I don't know. Oh, okay. Okay. Basically genetically modify organisms for a living. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's not true. We actually genetically modify corn for like 10,000 years. So, mhm. No, I mean not a monopoly, but I mean, no. Yeah, it definitely is. And it's actually just got bought out by Bayer, so it's actually even bigger than what you're describing. Mhm. How what happens with the altered DNA when it comes into your system? If I have a if I have a corn if I have a corn plant and then I breed it with another corn plant, are those genes changed? Mhm. Okay. Okay. So if I go in and what if I go in to the corn genome and I just take out one of the genes and all the same genes are there, but I just take out one of the genes, is that still safe to eat? I know. I know. No, no. I mean, no, no, no. It's altering the DNA. It's altering the DNA. So, yes, yes. I've done. I know. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, correct. Correct. I know, but we're starting but my it's not an ability that is normally in the the genome of the corn, absolutely. But the just genetically modifying something itself doesn't make it bad inherently. Okay, so that was my example with the knockout, like removing one of the things, and that's what they have to do in order to knock out like the restorer gene, which is the ability for it to actually produce seeds, which is a way that they kind of like, which their corn doesn't make seeds that are functional, so therefore you have to habitually buy the plant, you know, as a product. So it's like stuff like that. You know, you're not like inserting a foreign, pesticide gene inside of the genome. You're just changing the genome itself, and that's not inherently bad. Greenland, correct? Yeah, it's a natural germline, but I mean, we're gonna have there are stuff in there that would be bred by humans, so therefore technically they are genetically modified by humans. Yeah. So this is really important to realize, man. So humans have actually been altering the ecosystem ever since we stepped on it. Like ever since we even did like agriculture. So we have had a huge impact on the animals that we allow to live because we have been hunted them, from the trees and the plants that are allowed to live and you know, where we live, because you know we'll cut them down and we'll use them for resources and stuff like that. So you know, humans have been changing our ecosystem for a really, really long time. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Hmm. I, I mean, why would you think that they are healthier? I don't understand that. I mean, you could not refrigerate eggs here too. I mean, that. What do you think? What do you? I mean, that's just them. That's just. I mean, for apparently you are supposed to. It's healthier to not to clean and wash eggs and refrigerate them. And by the way, organic farming, you know, the non GMO plants, they actually have to use more pesticides in order to make sure that their plants aren't eaten by the predators of their plants, of their crops. You know what I mean? If you're a farmer, you don't want your stuff being eaten by pests, right? So you have to spray pesticides on it, obviously. It does. No, no, it does. Absolutely. No, you no, you can't. I mean, are you really going to do that? You know, if you're a farmer and you have they use they use organic pesticides, which can be no, but they have to use way more of it. Okay, yeah, hmm but my in my case, I would say like, why don't we use less pesticides and have the pesticide fighting chemical be inside the plant. So then the plant just doesn't have to get housed with pesticides and it's already there inside the plant. So it's actually safer for us to eat because we're not using a bunch of pesticides. Uh huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there can be. I mean, obviously, right? Yeah, but like, but DTT and stuff like us DDT. Sorry, DDT. Like we found that and then we removed it. Like, isn't that like it? I mean, at a given concentration, a lot of things alter DNA. I mean, that's not really that can that you know. Mm-hmm. No, you're not. You're fine. Me too. It's all good. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, we've been like breeding corn for like 10,000 years. So, I mean, the thing is like molecular biology, like because of the green revolution that happened in the 70s and 80s, we've basically been able to feed like a couple more billion people on Earth. Plants are way more productive for now. There's been huge wins in farming practices. So it's not, we've already had huge strides in creating a better future for our plants and humans, but it's just it's creating and I think in the future having more farms that are local and having like smaller farms that are local to your city, and so you have to have less travel, that kind of thing. So it's way I think that is the future going forward. Sure. Hmm. Thanks, man. Cool. Yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah. Drop in anytime if you see like a science news article or something that you're curious about. I'm your guy. All right, man. You too. Have a good one. Peace. All right. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for coming up, man. Appreciate you. How many cancers? I mean, cancers have increased because of we've understood what cancer is a lot better. So we are recognizing them, earlier, more often. We're recognizing the genetic changes that happen and are associated with those cancers. Um, I'm sure that there are chemicals, man, that aren't um, that are deleterious, right? That push bad things and have some impact, But that's we have to use studies in order to understand that. And if you are calling for more FDA regulation and you're calling for more, um, studies into that, then I think that's fine. Like I'm not opposed to it, but there already are a lot of studies out there. So don't say that they need to exist without knowing what's already out there, because there's a good chance that we already have the studies that you're asking for. Because Europe doesn't do everything right, man. Europe is, you know, um, Europe. Yeah, I honestly hate how Europe is seen as like this pedestal. Like it's very weird. It's very weird. They're supposedly more democratic than us, and it's just like a bunch of monarchs that you're begging for your rights from the king for. Um, the I don't know. It's just it doesn't make any sense to me why people love and put Europe on a pedestal. Like really in the left and like the progressive policy space, this happens with Bernie Sanders and stuff, and then also in like the white Christian nationalists like thing where they're just like looking up to Europe and like as this like motherland that nobody's ever done anything wrong over there, and it's so incredible over there. And it's like I don't care, bro. I don't care enough about Europe to live over there, or we're doing our own thing. I'd rather not be living under a monarch. I'd rather be a liberated and free person. But that's just me, dude. That's just me. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, yeah, Ruben. I mean, but I'm an American, so yeah, that's. Hey, Bill. I'm a proud American. Hey, Purple. How's it going? I mean, sorry. Oh my gosh, call me Bob. I just saw a purple flower. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't read today. Purple Bob. Call me Bob. Call me Purple. Yeah, it's like by the earth, right? It's by like yeah. Okay. Oh, they want to mine it for like Armageddon or something, like the movie. No, you're wrong. That's oh my god. Why isn't anyone I've just we're coming up on this live right now. We can mine it. It's not nickel. It's pure platinum. It's everything that we need in the world. And Elon Musk needs to play the role of Bruce Willis in Armageddon. And he needs to go up there and he needs to drill that thing. Let's like Elon can save us. He could, do it all. Like please, Elon, please save us. Yes, 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 please. It's on. We need him. Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Please. Please. Keg breath. Nice. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That. Hmm. Yeah. Like it was cool. There's this TikTok guy that's like farming wild beige or something, and he's awesome. He's so interesting. He's a farmer and he has like these eggs, and he had a video on this. Maybe we should just watch that. And I was like, wow, this seems so easy. Why I don't? It seems such like a manufactured thing, where it's like, again, like everything that Europe does, everyone's like, oh, they're probably doing, like this is so much better because it's like, it's very weird. Mm-hmm. It's very weird. Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah, it's it. Yeah, exactly. It's a weird. It's this weird fascination. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't get it. I don't accept Europe. I don't like it. I'm not. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't like it. I don't care. I mean, whatever. Yeah, dude. Yeah, like freaking. Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're like doing the exact opposite directions as us, and then people try to to like cherry pick what they like and be like, oh yeah, that they're just like us, and it's like, oh okay, you know, like why don't we do universal healthcare then? Why don't we do universal college? Why don't we do universal, uh, you know, childcare or you know, then and if you don't want to do any of that and you want to pick out food dyes and genetically modified plants as if that's the thing that's like changing and the bedrock of European society, you obviously have not tapped into what the reality is. You know that's the problem. I feel like it's so ridiculous. I am. I hate Europe. I'm not kidding. I'm so sick of it. I'm honestly so sick of like how much people like to just lord on these people for no reason. I don't need to have an open mind. I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter, guys. I'm so sick of it. I am. So it's and I think he says it in this video. It's so funny. It's like European is a peninsula that's cosplaying as a continent. It's like it's so true. So true. No. Yeah, I hate on Europe. I'm an American. I'm a proud American. Why do I don't care. I don't need to be everywhere in the world that I have an opinion about. Like what are you talking about? You've never been to anywhere and everywhere in the United States and you have an opinion on that. So it's not my see exactly, and this is exactly why, guys. This is Ruben. I'm so glad you're here. It's your ancestors. Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. It's this white Christian nationalist shit. That's what it's all about for you guys. You guys have no like semblance or reality of what actually happens as a culture over there, and you're picking the fact that they are white, and that's why you like them. That's why. So anyway, thank you, call me Bob. We're gonna watch this thing. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You guys, we can have nobody have the same opinions as me. Okay, I'm begging you, please do not. So there you go. So can be where we part ways, but you can still be a fan of the show. I appreciate you. I love you. I hate I. You're great, communists. You're the best part about Europe. I appreciate you. I love you guys. You love Europe. I'm I think it's weird how people put them on a pedestal. That's what I'm that's why I can't stand. So I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. That's just me. It's fine. I'm not educated. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I have, and you know what? I'm okay with that. Thank you. I'm forgiven and foreign. Call me Ness. Here we go. You guys, this guy is a farmer. He has a lot better knowledge about the whole egg egg washing thing. So here we go. Let's see what he says. Dude, I do not. I don't want my mouth or my product being at the bottom of this egg, of this chicken. Why would you not wash it? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. refrigeration makes so much sense, like for all these other food products. Why would you not do it for like a protein? That doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. Wow. You guys, I mean, I'm letting you guys know. Just, I don't know if I need a diagram? I hopefully not. I hopefully I don't need to draw a diagram, but there you go. It's the same thing, guys. So just take notes. Thank you. Ooh. Wow. Dang. Wow. Yeah. I'm sulking. Oh, how dare you? How dare you? Dude, that doesn't make Ruben again. All corns are genetically modified. If you ban genetically modified foods and you support that, you're outing yourself as someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. And Europe does that. Europe bans all genetically modified foods. They don't understand the science. They don't understand it. I'm sorry. There's just that's not it's not okay. It doesn't make any sense. Like guys, this is so frustrating because it's just like so I don't know, like okay, DNA that is genetically modified, right, gets broken down in your gut the same, right? The nucleotides changed, the ACTs and Gs, they're going to be changed to a new sequence, right? And that is different, but that is not bad, right? Those ACTs and Gs themselves, those aren't bad. What you get when you change those ACTs and Gs and you insert something unique is you get a protein, right? You get a protein that you can make inside that ant organism for the first time. So the question is how good and how effective or how toxic is that protein inside of that organism? That is the question. So just genetically modifying something isn't going to be bad innately. Who is pro GMO? Me. I literally genetically modified things as a job. That is what that's what I am. I'm a molecular biologist. I changed DNA. Yeah. So I mean, again, like we're talking about the ability to create things like the anti-GMO hysteria, by the way, has caused like golden rice is a good example. That was like the example like 10 years ago that everyone was using where it's you know the the ability to fortify rice with vitamin A would basically help people see better. They would have better ocular development, so they would have less ocular they would have better see eyesight. They have better eyesight because of it. There's more to it than that. I how many species of crops have you made in your life? How many strains are with your initials? Please tell me. Please tell me if there's more to that. Then please explain to me. I've developed personally multiple cultivars of crop plants, and I've probably made hundreds of different species of or strains or on stuff. What are you talking about? There's more to it than that. Like, what do you mean? That I'm literally explaining to you what is happening. You either have the toxicity of the protein that's made within inside of the plant, And that's it. That is the ethical and consideration of it. I'm talking about the plant GMOs are not viable, so it's seed control. Okay, that's a different thing. So you can genetically modify something without impacting the restorer gene, which is the one that they do. So some of them have that and some of them don't. Like again, so you know so little about this that you don't even understand like this process at all. Like I'm sorry, but I'm telling you what it is. Keep it clean and green. What? Yeah, yeah. It is. It's literally natural. You are creating an organism, and everything is within that organism. That is natural. That is organic. That is what it is. Yes, exactly, Ruben. A bosenberry or whatever. Yes, that's breeding, bro. That is breeding. We've been doing breeding for 10,000 years as humans, and that is genetic modification. And it's more. You're actually genetically modifying more genes with breeding than you are with molecular biology. Molecular biology, you're changing one gene at a time. You're changing one gene. That's it. Breeding, you are changing tens of thousands of genes. So that's not genetic modification. Yes, it is, Ruben. Yeah, again, dude, you don't understand. You don't understand what actually happens and what's made in order to create these strains. I'm telling you. This isn't my opinion. I'm telling you what it is. Yes, but it's way different than when we use by plant only. No, it's not. It's worse. The outcome is more random. It is. Like I don't know what to tell you, but it is. When you breed two organisms, you could get a lot of different outcomes. Especially when you have so many different you're talking about a ploidy, you guys don't even understand that that plants are like tetraploid, octoploid. Do you guys even know what that means? Like it's like the the combinations. So it's like you not only have um the Punnett square, but try that across all the different genomes and all the different copies of all the different genes that you're talking about, and we're talking about tons of different combinations that you would have to do. So you'd have to phenotypically screen. We're talking like a lot of different plants. You don't just like cross two plants and then get something. Your food should not be modified. Maybe God made us have it made genetic modifications. Like, what are you talking about? I do it. Thank you, Wainati. I do. I'm not asking you for your permission. What does that mean besides numbers of cell combos? It's the copies of their genomes. So an octoploid means that they have 8 copies of their genome at any given time. So you have to make sure that you change the genes of all 8 copies of the genome at once if you want to have like a pure strain. So the problem is why? Because we need to make things more productive. We need to make them more resilient. We need to make better food that can help feed more people in the world, man. This is what we've done for 40 years. I would, yeah, lab grown meat and all that kind of stuff is completely fine, JJ. Can you clarify the difference between the modified and manipulating the plant to give more yield? Um, okay, so basically, let's say, so if you were trying to make like a plant with like an increased growth factor or something, for corn, guys, I mean, who are you helping? Have you seen a wild type maize? Like, do you know what you're talking about? Like, this is so wild to me. Like, do you guys know what actual corn looks like? It doesn't look like this, guys. Like, it doesn't look like this. You know what I mean? Like, you guys realize that like wild type corn doesn't look like it looks like this up here at the top, and not this. So it's like, so you're like, why even do that? And I'm like, literally, like, well, that's why, because it's right there. That's why. What's up, Ruben? How's it going, man? Hmm. Yeah. Brussels sprouts, the same thing. Yeah, yeah. It is. So basically, it is. No. No, 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 no. You're what they're doing is that they're breeding in order for a specific gene to be turned on or off, or a combination of different genes to be on or off in order to make something go from, from this, which is like this wild type, here, which is what it originally started out to, like here. So that they're changing, basically different mutations inside of the genome, would be bred in and cross referenced so that if, both of them had that turned off, then you breed it and then it, the offspring would also be off, that kind of thing. So you're doing that by combinations of tens of thousands of genes, and basically you're looking through all the different variants and all the different types, and then you're trying to look at, it's called phenotypic screening. So you have the genes that you're changing through your breeding, right? But then the question is, what mutations make this thing right here versus this, right? What are the gene combinations that do that? And for, humans didn't know about DNA, they didn't know about genes. So what they would do is they would just constantly breed the ones that looked more and more like this, in order to give that, versus a molecular biology approach, right? That doesn't take 10,000 years in order to do. We can just take this, the original one, change all the genes, only the genes that we care about, and we can go directly to this maize plant. So it's the same, it's actually less genetic modification going from this natural, quote unquote, natural original wild type maize to here would actually be less genetic modification. You're changing less genes. You're just targeting, you're doing a targeted approach. Hmm. Yeah. It's there's but you you realize that breeding and the breeding of maize in order to get to this point is just changing DNA. Yeah. So what? Yeah. I mean, it's no. It's not natural, as in natural selection. It's not. It's human selected, right? It's like, it's so yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. That is, yeah, exactly. That's breeding. Okay. Yeah, and breeding is good. Breeding is good. You can have breeding with molecular techniques too. Like it's not like an either or thing. Like it's not a bad thing. Hmm. Yeah. You put something, a new gene into it. So that would be, so not necessarily, yeah. So they basically create the pest. So plants create defenses. Okay, so some of it is structural. They'll have like a waxy cuticle. They can't run, right? Plants can't run, so they create defensive mechanisms in order to stop things from eating it. So that's why there's peppers have that hotness. That's why caffeine exists. That's why, in some of them are anti-insect things, proteins, right? That some plants, or have developed and evolved. So the idea is this maize hasn't developed that anti pesticide, that anti insect defense mechanism yet. So, but we can take just that gene, just that one gene out of that one plant and then put it into here. And so that this maize now has the ability to have that insecticide inside of it. So instead of having, pesticides sprayed onto it, constantly and using more pesticide than necessary and having the pesticide run off and then really impact the environment, you can actually have a super small amount of pesticide created in the leaves of this maize so that you don't have to use as much pesticides. Genetically modified organisms require less pesticides. They just do. There are ways to do that. It matters. You can genetically modify. There's a couple of different ones. So something that I did for potatoes is like the browning of potatoes from a shock or something like that. It doesn't change its nutrition whatsoever, but the browning looks bad so that humans don't want to eat it. So you can actually genetically modify potatoes to take out that browning so that they don't go bad, so people will eat them. So that was one of my projects that I've done too. So it's like, it exactly, exactly, yeah. And you're removing that, and you're basically removing that, and you're saying that, yeah, you want to give basically less food waste. That's a win. That's a good thing. No, they don't have. They don't. They don't like. They don't brown. They don't. They have like the antioxidants, all the reactive oxygens species to signal and everything, but they just don't turn brown. Yeah, Garden, you would. Yeah, with these potatoes, yeah, you would. That is a possible. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry I didn't solve all food waste. I'm sorry that I don't that wasn't on the project, but in this specific incidence, it does. Yeah, I'm sorry. If you actually cared about food waste, you'd be excited about that. But it's pretty telling that you don't. Um, we aren't actually. Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Because seeds can be the carrier for a lot of different things too. So, yeah, so that you can actually just like have pests and stuff into it. Yeah. I mean, also it creates like an invasive species potentially. Like there could be a lot of different like ecosystem, things that you care about. Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, basically breeding encompasses like breeding a plant and molecular breeding and like you can yeah you can take parts and there's a lot of sophisticated like molecular biology techniques with libraries and like a bunch of mutant libraries and creating a bunch of different types of DNA and trying to see which one works and that kind of stuff. That's like a directed evolution approach if you don't understand the mechanism yet and you're like, what does the mutation mean, what, when, that kind of thing. But in general, you usually like take these things out into like bacteria, and then you'll see kind of like what mutations confer what change, and then take that mutation then and then put it into back into the same mutation back into the plants, and then see like what actually happens with the plant, and you're like, well, let's sequence the entire organism, right? The entire plant. Like, let's see and make sure we made no other changes other than this specific point, and then that's what your product is. So your plant and your plant genome becomes a patent. Like that is something that you can patent and you can sell to people. So that is why you see a lot in the biotechnology space with plant biotechnology specifically, you have them knocking out and removing the ability for the plant to make seeds, because then it is a money thing, right? Because then it basically create a subscription service versus a one-time purchase. So I mean, I think I don't like that personally, but I can kind of understand if you're a plant company, when your product is a plant, you know, it, you know, that is kind of tough. I mean, maybe a lot of farmers are buying this and they don't understand that, so that could be, you know, very harmful. But you know, that is something that happens. Not necessarily monopoly. There's not a monopoly as much as it's like, you know, it could be a subscription service when they don't understand, if you're a farmer, that like you're gonna have to pay, you know, for more seeds next year. Yeah. Well, you could use a different, you know, company that doesn't do the restore or knockout. You know, like that was, you could use that. No, you can't. No, there's tons of different like corn, you know, like varieties now. Like you don't have to do the Monsanto like version of corn if you wanted to. You could use something else. Mexico, okay. I mean, that for the same reason probably. No, the other way around. JJ Bayer owns Monsanto. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, for sure, 100%, man. It's happening. Absolutely. Where do you think, like, okay, so okay, um, they're not though. Yeah, they're not. Oh, I'm disconnected. I'm back. Am I back? Sorry, it says I disconnected. Are you here? Okay. Um, where do you think climate change like came from? Like the theory and like that kind of thing. Like where do you think it came from? Okay. Okay. But like how does it? But how, like, where is it coming from? Like where is the idea coming from? Okay. But I mean, you do realize that that was because of, no, it's for chlorofluorohydrocarbons, and we stopped using those in a lot of stuff, and we did make the hole in the ozone heal a little bit. So it's actually a huge win. That did happen though. It's actually a good thing. That's what the science says, and that's what actually is happening. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a lot. Yeah, they're doing a lot to mitigate it though too. Like I mean, China is doing more than any other country right now in terms of affordable, cheap, sustainable, and renewable energy production. You know, they're spending so much money on that. They're just painting like so much of their terrain with you know, solar and wind arrays. It's incredible. Like we did a story on that, but um, it's stunning, dude. I mean, when China like makes the switch and starts turning off its coal fired power plants, then you're gonna, you know, we're gonna have peak oil and we're gonna start going down probably. We just did another article on that last week. It matters, man. It matters. So like, so what I think about is that humans are having a negative impact on the environment. You know, one of the ways that we are polluting CO2, right? From carbon is going from the ground and we're putting it up into the air. and that is the main problem with CO2 ppms rising, is that carbon should basically be in the ground, but it's inside of the atmosphere, and that's that process would not have happened if it wasn't for humans. And we can actually, carbon date. Yeah, it just doesn't add up for the amount of carbon that's up there. We can literally do carbon dating on the CO2 of the atmosphere, and we can look at where the carbon came from, and it matches the carbon date of the soil, like of the fossil fuel oil, not the native atmosphere, and you can see the ratio change over time. So it's like, so we know exactly that humans are having a huge impact on it. It's stunning, dude. I mean, the oh, it is though, man. It is. So I mean, this is, yeah, that's where you're wrong. I mean, it's but they're not doing nearly enough of the work, man, of that's happening here. So I mean, look at the non. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. No, it's not like 10 degrees. It's like a degree or a tenth of a degree. It's not. It's not 10 degrees, dude. But yeah, I mean, so the idea there is that as the sun radiates down, you just basically absorb less of the heat if you have like trees and things that are natural, because they kind of like absorb that heat, versus cement and asphalt that just absorb that heat and then you just radiate the heat out. So I mean, there's so much evidence of it, man. Like of how the humans are specifically causing this, that humans are specifically like, causing this damage. And I just want to say, again, it is not just CO2, man. We are hurting. We're extincting a lot of animal populations. We're extincting biomes. We're extincting wetlands. We're extincting, you know, um, you know. Yes, it is, bro. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We can. You don't think that? So you, well, bro, what? Yeah, yeah, dude. There's a lot of like migratory bird species that are critically endangered. A lot of salamanders, a lot of amphibians, a lot of stuff that are in these wetlands, like the areas that are. It is absolutely happening. Exactly, dude. Yeah, I know. I know. Exactly. It's very frustrating to me too. Like I mean, humans have watched and loved the environment for, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, man. So like for example, like in the UK, there is a steep love for birding. So birding is like when they track bird populations and they migratory bird patterns and stuff like that. So birding is like a hobby that people do. And so they actually have migratory bird stuff down for, I think it's like 400 years that they can go back to. So they know that like that's having an impact. We can see how the um, plants and the insects both need to bloom kind of at the same time when the flowers are available, and the insects need to eat in order to be the pollinator, in order to get their little food, in order to go to the next flower. They're not lining up anymore. It's called phenology, where you have like that relationship. The plants are like coming up way too early now, and the insects are all dysregulated, and they're not coming out in the same time. So we're seeing it there too. We're seeing wetlands that go extinct. Like, so like 90% of the wetlands that have gone extinct in the last 50 years. So it's like, why is that? It's because like humans want to live like where the coast is. Like it, I mean, it's very simple. It's not, it doesn't take that much to know, because we're killing it and we're paving them over. The mangrove forests, the mangrove forest. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, dude. You don't think that it's decreasing in space? You know. Okay, all right, let's check it out. Let's check it out. Florida, Florida. Um, Over the last century, the Everglades have been significantly reduced from its original size due to drainage for agriculture and urban development, with over 50% of the wetlands lost and water flow rerouted by canals and levees. Historically, it was historically, it's definitely gone. Human impact. 1900 to 1960, the period saw intense draining for development and agriculture, dramatically shrinking the wetlands. I mean, it's yeah. Yes, yes. Okay, but you do just realize that you said that like we are changing them over, right? So the amount of Everglades is going down. Exactly. Exactly though. Exactly. And exactly my point. Yes, dude. Thank you for saying that. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. That humans are having a negative impact on the environment. One way is CO2 from the soil to the atmosphere. The second is habitat loss and biodiversity loss. There are more than one way that the humans are having a negative impact. And just by focusing on CO2, what's happening is that people are kind of losing sight of the bigger picture and what we're actually doing. So that's exactly why I phrase it humans having a negative impact on the environment, and I don't just talk about climate change because that's just one way. Does that make sense? So you're right. Exactly, you're right. We are putting all those different ways. We're also polluting. We're polluting our environment with microplastics, and we're polluting it with trash, and you know what I mean? That's another thing, right? We're polluting it with a lot of different nonsense as well. We're also polluting it with um, with nutrients, right? So for the runoff from our farms, basically off of the coast of every single city in the world is an oxygen minimal zone. And an oxygen minimal zone is what happens when you have nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium run off into the ocean, and then you have a huge bloom of algae, dinoflagellates, that kind of thing, and diatoms, and then they all die. And with that, they take the oxygen with them basically. So what happens is that you have a big school of fish go running through the coast. They hit one of these oxygen minimal zones. Boom, they all die. And that's what the news reports come from of like of wow, all these dead fish just came up out of nowhere. And it's like, oh yeah, well, it's because we had a huge oxygen bloom because there was a bad farming practice a mile upstream, and now all of that went through. So like this has huge impacts, man. Ties us back to the genetically modified organism thing. Like if we can stop the runoff of our farms, then we can stop the mass dying of these schools in the ocean. They're all tied together. It's not though. So, I, y- mm-hmm. I, yeah, exactly. No, hey, I totally get it. Like, I totally get it. I am not one of those people that thinks that we have to kind of like degrowth and we have to not live in a modern society in order for us to actually live and fix these problems. I think that how we fix a lot of these problems with climate change could actually create the next jobs of the future, of the next 100 years. We could be leaders in creating new technologies that we sell to other companies in order to mitigate this stuff and make our lives better, right? We just have cleaner, cheaper energy that just so happens to be solar or wind. You know what I mean? But we can have a 10,000 year mindset on how to minimize our mitigate the dangers and the problems that we're having in the environment while also fixing some of our problems now. We can, and we have, and we are. We are. Yeah, yeah. So we increase. Yeah, so we increase the ability for our grid in order to handle this stuff, and we allow our infrastructure to be updated in order to facilitate that. No, it'll create less. It'll create less because you are create. It's like an ounce of mitigation is worth a pound of cure, right? Where it's like you stymie it earlier on in the process, and then you don't have to worry about the downstream processes. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. We can. No, but like how would no, I think Trump has like taken us out of it. Like I think but honestly it's partly because of you know it we actually are on track to hitting that anyway. It's like not. Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's not mandatory. None of this stuff is like mandatory, but we're actually on track to kind of like hit that stuff anyway. But it's like Paris is just an agreement that this stuff exists and it matters and we need to do something. It's not so much like that's all we needed to do. We need to, the goal is to go carbon neutral. So the idea being that like the energy that we use, you know, so basically there's this thing called life cycle analysis. So you can look at all the different the amount of energy that was used in order for like an entire process to be done, and then you can see like how much it was used in order to create that, how much carbons it took in order to expel that, and then you can kind of like have a hopefully it kind of balances out, so you're not actually like taking carbons from the ground and putting it out up into the atmosphere. You're taking carbons from the atmosphere, bringing them down, using them again, and then putting them back into the atmosphere, kind of thing. So that would be a carbon neutral approach, as opposed to a carbon negative, where you're just taking more and more carbons from the ground and putting it all up into the atmosphere. If we do nothing, absolutely not. So if we do nothing, the our kids are basically going to live in a really bad spot. But like we have a chance. We have a ton of chances. We have an ability to actually like change the future. Absolutely, we do. Oh no, not even close. No, not even close. Like 2030 was like carbon, like no internal combustion engines in California, and then carbon neutral by like 2050. It's like super far out. It's not like 2030 was, yeah, not that. Because people we were not hitting them. Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, you have Microsoft opening up 3 Mile Island in order so it can run, ChatGPT Center. So I mean, a lot of it is basically using different types of technology and using all of them together. So yeah, you have mining, you can have, but a lot of the miners are converting over to um, are converting over to data centers because it's just so much more profitable for them to host AI as opposed to farming crypto. So, that's a good thing. And a lot of dude, legitimately, you should look in. Have you looked into the NeoCloud stocks? Iron. Look at it, IREN. Check it out, dude. It's actually on a pretty good dip right now. But what they're doing is that they have space in their cloud servers. They have a bunch of renewable and sustainable energy like solutions around. So they're deploying both of them at the same time, and it's like it's a huge win because like they're solving a bunch of problems at the same time, right? A lot of these like towns that they're going into, the data centers, like literally do not have energy for them. So Iron's literally building the energy infrastructure out at the same time, and it's solving a need because all AWS and Google they're already booked out. Like all their servers and their AI servers are all booked out for a really long time. So they're out of space. So it's actually a really cool opportunity. I think that we're gonna have a lot of that, and we're gonna have a lot of like nuclear power plants, like small little breeder reactors, like everywhere, in a lot more different places, in order to kind of like facilitate that patchwork. But like, again, dude, we had $500 billion set aside for this specific thing that the Biden administration literally passed and had money in that piggy bank in order for this to be done. Like we had it, the legislation passed, it was done, the money was set aside for credits for this stuff, and Trump pulled that out and raided that piggy bank and literally just gave that money to the billionaires. So it's legitimately infuriating because we actually did have like make a huge step forward, and a lot of that was exactly what you're talking about, dude. Grid infrastructure, improvements. So yeah, he took $500 billion of it. Yes. Yes, he did. Yes, it was from the Inflation Reduction Act and the infrastructure bill. Yes. Yes. Yeah, check it out. How they balance because there was 400 or $500 billion of credits in there. And that's how they did it. Hmm. Okay. I mean, I agree with you. But why not hit these goals and make our lives better at the same time? But I mean, I don't feel like that's like a bad excuse, man, because then it's like you're just asking for like, like some daddy to come through and give you like what you need to do. Like we should like be motivated, self-motivated in order to live in a world that's better and more clean and like solved some of these problems. You're not restricting, you're giving them more options. No, it's not, dude. No, you're giving people more options, more jobs that they can actually choose to live in, to have higher paying salaries for a longer period of time because those jobs are going to be there for a while. Hey, he didn't spend that $400 billion. I think that he should have just built it all. Like they were worried, they wanted to do a long-term 10-year build out, dude. They were trying to do it conservatively. They were trying to do it, so there wasn't a lot of waste. You know what I mean? I totally agree with you, bro. Like, I mean, now the name of the game is to pass the legislation, and then within the next year or two, spend every single cent that you actually have, because Trump has shown that you have actual power of the purse, somehow, and you can actually like legislate from the executive branch. Nobody knew that was possible before, but now we do. Yep. I mean, they're not passing legislation in order to undo the the infrastructure bill and um, the Inflation Reduction Act. The OMB is just deciding like what's okay, and then also they're using budget reconciliation and taking that money and just putting it right back in there. So Yeah, dude. It's awful. Yeah. All good, Ruben. You're always welcome to come up, man. I really appreciate your questions and stuff. Genuinely. All right, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Peace. Guys. Friend of the stream, Ruben. Thanks for coming up, bro. I really appreciate you, man. Always good questions in chat. Ruben always really pays attention and asks good questions. Project 2025. I did like read the cliff notes, but I didn't like read the whole like 800 pages or whatever about it. All right, guys. So we are learning about one that Europe isn't a continent; it's just a peninsula that's masquerading as a continent. Okay, that's something that we learned today. And then also two, we're learning that Europe is really gross for not washing their eggs, and because the eggs come out the poop end of the chicken, and that's not where you want your food. So that's the second thing that we're learning. And then we're also learning. We're gonna finish this video, and we're gonna get back to the IPCC report. And those are the big things that we're learning. Thanks, guys. See, thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. Makes sense. Beautiful. Wow. Incredible. That was good. It's so good. JJ, Dr. Greg likes eggs in small cages. JJ, I'll tell you what. Okay. The thing, only person that likes to be in small cages is your dad when I visit your mom. He sits in the chair in the corner and he's all caged up and he watches us where he pours and rains money all over me while I satisfy your mom to levels that she has never even imagined. So, thank you. Thank you for what you do and your family supporting mine. Thank you. All right. All right. Okay. Corn, safe. GMO, safe. Everglades, dying. IPCC report, good. IPCC report, amazing. Synthesis report, good. Humans having a change on climate change. What else do we need to know? What else do we need to know? not dying from I mean, they're being consumed. Yeah, Ruben, that's the whole point though. That was my whole point. Like Everglades and wetlands are going extinct because of human consumption, right? Because we are consuming them, because we are putting parks and parking lots and farms there. So that is the only thing. All right. So we went through this one. Here we go. Oh, here we go. We can like talk about this. Um, carbon budget and net zero emissions. Limiting human caused global warming requires net zero CO2 emissions. So that's what they're talking about. This is net zero CO2 emissions. The emissions from the CO2 matches the amount that the CO2 that we brought down from the atmosphere. Cumulative carbon emissions until the time of reaching net zero emissions and the level of greenhouse gas emission reductions this decade largely determine whether warming can be limited to 1.5 or 2. So it seems like we're at 2. Projected CO2 emissions from existing fossil fuel infrastructure without additional abatement would exceed the remaining carbon budget for 1.5. High confidence. Okay, so that's bad. Hi, Charity. How's it going? Have you talked about the reduction in food inspectors for diseases? No, I haven't. I didn't hear about that. That doesn't sound good. Kid, if you could link it, that'd be great. Hey, Scott, thank you for what you do, man. I appreciate you. Environmental scientist that worked on wetland restoration can confirm wetlands are in trouble. Scott, what I heard, it was a crazy stat, dude. 90% of wetlands that have gone extinct in the last 50 years. So, as Ruben pointed out, it's true. Like wetlands are going extinct not because of CO2 ppms, but they're going extinct because humans want to live there, right? We're paving it, putting a parking lot, and it's bad. That's bad, guys. That's very bad. Restore mangroves. Yeah, exactly. Mangroves are huge. Again, by the oceans, so that's where humans want to live. They're destroying. Yeah, lots of filled in and drained wetlands. Yeah, Scott. Yeah, exactly. How much oxygen or biodiversity do wetlands produce? A lot, dude. Any type of like wetlands is really big, specifically for like migratory bird populations, because they're the stops that are that they use in order to make their journey here in the migrations. So and anything migratory is going to be linked to if you lose those, you're going to lose both of them. You have multiple different environments that are tied to there. Also, wetlands have a lot of switchgrass, and switchgrass are like the best thing for CO2 assimilation besides of algae. So it's pretty gnarly, man. A lot of vulnerable animal and plant and bird populations that live there. They are huge carbon sinks, and they are where juvenile fish like salmon develop. Yeah, exactly. Mangrove forests and wetlands are where they'll go, and little baby fish and baby stuff all get raised. All right. So this is the limiting warming to 1.5 and 2 involves rapid, deep, and in most cases immediate greenhouse gas emission reductions. Why not just invest in carbon scrubbers? So that's just one octopus leg of this thing. So like ideally, okay, let's say we do. Let's say we have the best carbon scrubbers available and we go to net zero. Right? That'd be amazing. Nobody would be mad about that. Um, the big problem is still everything else: the pollution, the loss of habitat because of humans, the animal diversity loss because of the extinction event that we're going through and humans are driving, the other things other than CO2 that we are pumping into the atmosphere, like methane and stuff like that. We are putting a ton of stuff into the atmosphere. Carbon scrubbers are basically ways to take CO2 out of the atmosphere and solidify it back. So the idea is to actually like figure out a way to like take all that carbon, and then literally I've heard it proposed like you just put the carbon back into the oil holes in the earth that have like been sucked out because of oil. They want to put it back. You just want to put it back into the earth. Energy and material costs to scrub is really high right now, but we need to try. Yeah, Scott, exactly. That's what I've heard too. Like, it's kind of still in the pipe dream state. Like, a carbon scrubber would be great to have, but it's not necessarily something that we have a technology ready to deploy right now. Yeah, exactly. They're not even carbon neutral yet. Yeah. All right, guys. So here we go. Do you guys like this little like zoom in thing? Is this good? Do you guys can you see enough? Can you see it enough? Do you think bringing back nuclear power is better? It's better than coal or something like that. You know, for sure. I can also do I can do it a different size too. Love the zoom in. Sweet. Thanks, dude. Awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to help. Trying to help for um, YouTube and YouTube and or I can do this too, but this is kind of hard. This is almost too zoomed in. Okay, nice. Way easier to see. Okay, so we have the net global emissions. This is 300%, so maybe this might be too much. So then we have the nationally determined contribution range, right? So that's between where we are going, implemented policies, which is, and not like limiting warming. So that the track that we have is basically twofold. Do we continue and implement policies, or do we have dramatic change here? And dramatic change gets us to net zero, limiting warming by 2100. So that is, oh yeah, it's zoomed in. Okay, sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think this is a little bit better. You can see more of the figure at the same time. Um, so we desperately want to. So here we go. Implemented policies resulted in project emissions that lead to warming at 3 degrees Celsius. Okay. So basically, like the difference between the red and the green, like I'd still say that honestly, the Inflation Reduction Act and the everything was probably still in the red, unfortunately. But I mean, it was incredible. I mean, truly, guys. I mean, the Inflation Reduction Act was like the biggest step forward uh, that the United States ever made in terms of renewable and sustainable energy, mitigating human impact on the environment. I mean, we actually did pass it. We actually did do it. It's an incredible thing. Cool. Thank you, Heather. Well, thank you for giving me that feedback. Um, and so this is net global CO2 emissions, and then this is greenhouse gas emissions by sector at the time of net zero CO2 compared to 2019. So what are these different ones? Oh, so transport, industry, buildings. So basically they're saying there are different ways to achieve net zero. Okay, so so they're probably going to talk about one of these is probably going to be carbon sinks. We'll think about that. Net zero will be reached before net zero greenhouse gas emissions. This is what they were talking about in terms of this is exactly what we're talking about with carbon scrubbers, right? Like you could have, you know, in the best case scenario where you have carbon scrubbers right there, right? And then you still have a bunch of greenhouse gases that you still have to remove in order to make it net zero. So it's a couple of different things. Recycling. Um, I mean, recycling is good. Okay, recycling is good, but there's a lot of waste basically. So that's the big problem is that you get to the point where you know, someone will like, they'll just throw a water bottle in with the recycling, and then they'll think like, oh my, you know, I did so much there. And it's like, well, in reality, you know, recycling is actually the third point. Okay, so you're supposed to reduce, reuse, and then recycle. So it's still not carbon neutral. You know, there's it's still largely bad for the environment that you used a water bottle that is recycled than just refilling one and reusing it, right? We have to reduce the use of plastics. We have to reuse the plastics that we use, and then the materials that we do use, then we have to recycle. But it all goes into that spot. Um, No, Ruben, you know, recycling basically costs energy in order to do that, and it costs a lot of energy and manpower to separate out like what you can put in that stream. So recycled plastic, a lot of stuff that's in recycled plastic waste needs to be taken out, and it takes a lot of manpower in order to do that. So it is unfortunate, but it is something that is good. Now, what about carbon catch and storage? Yeah, I mean, Hazel, they're all ways that we need to go forward. You know, all of that technology we need to push forward, and we need to invest into it. That's what I think at the end of the day. So, inclusive governance, diverse knowledge and values, finance and innovation, integration across multiple sectors, ecosystem stewardship, synergies between climate and development actions, behavioral change supported by policy, infrastructure, and socio-cultural factors. That sounds amazing, guys. These are conditions that enable individual and collective actions. And here's the conditions that constrain, right? We see these: poverty, inequality, injustice, economic and institutional, social, and capacity barriers, siloed responses, lack of finance, barriers to finance in technology, and trade off with SDGs. So there's multiple pathways and interacting choices that can shift development and pathways towards sustainability. It's not just one thing. It's not going to be just one thing that changes. It's going to be us as a culture and as a society and as a human species realizing that like this isn't something that we have to do. It's something that we need to do for better jobs, for better environments, for better health, human health. It's all tied into this. How is there a CO2 crisis when it's only 0.04% of the atmosphere? Because if there's more of it there than should be, you know, it can be increasing, you know, a lot of the positive feedback mechanism in order to make the CO2, the atmosphere hotter, which is a greenhouse effect. So it's not just about total population of the CO2 in the atmosphere. Iron, IREN. This is not financial advice, but iron's a really cool like stock. I think I think all of that stuff is actually really cool. It's called like NeoCloud stuff. What is the it's like W A. Um, Let me see. One second. There's an ETF that just has all of them. Oh, WGMI. That would probably be the better. That's just an ETF that just has WGMI has all of them. If you wanted to just like have one thing, I would probably recommend that. Um, yeah, yeah. That's just not true. Truth surgeon. You're welcome to come up into voice though if you want to talk about it. Past conditions, prospects for climate. So basically, this is after 2100 and beyond. So we basically want to have low emissions, system transitions, transformation of our energy grids, lower climate risk, right? Equity and justice, and SDG achievement. I don't know, SDG. What is SDG? Societal developmental something? I don't know. Oh, this is one of my favorite graphs, man. I remember this one specifically. So there are multiple opportunities for scaling up climate action. So basically, the amount of potential contributions to net emission reduction. This is huge, right? And if it's a blue bar here, then the blue is our costs lower than the reference. So these are huge wins. And then the red are the bars are basically cost ones, things that cost us money to do. So solar and wind, this is why there's for mitigation, this is why solar and wind is so good, man. Solar and wind are huge wins because they're actually cheaper. They're cheaper than the alternatives, and it helps. So they're huge wins. Reducing conversion of natural ecosystems. So that's what we were talking about with Ruben, right? About how these ecosystems are being taken over by humans. So if we stop doing that, it's a huge thing. Reducing the conversions of natural ecosystems would have as much of an impact as all of the wind arrays. How do we achieve this without shared transportation? I'm keeping my cars. Well, it'd be like, Ruben, I actually do think that is the future, honestly, for humans. I don't think that, I think we're too far gone with, for massive rail deployments in the United States. But yeah, basically creating smaller cars that can go faster and be more automated. I think that's the path forward for humans, for at least the United States. Another one, carbon sequestration in agriculture, right? So that's I put a link to the video. Oh, thank you, Charity. I'll cover it tomorrow. Okay. For ecosystem restoration, afforestation, and reforestation. So these are another things that we were all talking about, Ruben, right? These are the things that are going to have exactly what we were talking about, restoring those ecosystems and stopping, taking from them already. Shifting to a sustainable, healthy diet is on there. Improved sustainable forest management. Efficient buildings. Look how much efficient buildings versus fuel efficient vehicles. So there you go. You don't have to know. Yeah, I know about coral bleaching. Yeah, it's on there for sure, man. It's a way that we're impacting it, and it's because of the ocean acidification. Hi, Jess Kristen. How's it going? So yeah, guys, this is a huge thing, right? This is like fuel switching. Look at that. Fuel switching. Here's biofuels. Here's algae. Biofuels for transport, right? Here's energy and waste. Energy within our energy infrastructure. Fuel switching to a clean CNG. Reducing emissions, energy efficiency. So we have huge things. Here's carbon capture, unfortunately. See, Ruben, this is what we're talking about. It's super expensive and it doesn't work that well right now. So here's carbon capture. So everything that you're talking about, here's enhanced recycling that you were talking about too, Ruben, right here. So it's like, enhanced recycling does about 3 times as much as carbon capture right now. But unfortunately, it's just not. It's just too expensive, and the technology isn't there. What's up, man? How's it going? Okay. Okay. Why? Mm-hmm. So, okay, so you're just talking about CO2, like ppm. Do you think that the humans are impacting the environment in other ways, or just you're just focused on CO2? Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that just means that we should do more to invest into the infrastructure of the grid, not like stop renewable and sustainable. Like, okay, do you, how would you know whether or not humans are contributing CO2? Like, what would be your experiment? How would you know if the CO2 we're using? Okay, so no, I mean that's that no, that's again. So you're thinking about ratios when you should be thinking about like, I mean, it, it, you're thinking about percentages when you should be thinking about ratios, like how much of the CO2 is there and how much have we actually put into the atmosphere. That is the important part. It's not um, exactly because like there because yes, yeah, because there are other times in the earth when humans weren't even there. So yeah, we've had historically super high levels, but yeah, how how would no, it's not to do with the sun. It's not. No, it's not. No. No. It's you're wrong. No. No, again, that's just completely incorrect. No. There was actually a scientist there, the physicist in Stanford that literally by the Koch brothers that was paid, and he thought this exact same thing. It was all because of the weather station, trying to where we're monitoring the CO2 ppms. It has nothing to do with the out with the solar flares, all that kind of stuff. And he completely changed his mind after taking a Koch brothers grant in order to try to actually study this and prove his point, but he completely recanted and completely changed his mind and showed those because it was obvious the data is absolutely fine. Dude, do you think that we were just like monitoring the state of the environment because of this? No, it's not. It's because the research stations they wanted to probably check a lot of the I don't know the emissions and why not? Can we go back to trying to actually confirming how do you think we could confirm the like what humans have actually contributed to the current atmosphere? Like how would we know? What would be your experiment? Hmm. That's emissions. So that's emissions of all the amount of CO2 emissions. But like, what about now? What about right now? Like, how do we know about all the CO2 that's been in the atmosphere? How would we know what humans have contributed historically and where it is now? How do you know that? How do you trust that? Exactly. No, 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 it's not. It's not. That's completely false. Again, so you're right that they do the ice core data, okay? And they what they do is they radio date the carbon that's inside of the ice core, and then they can see atmospheric natural, CO2 versus the carbon date of the human CO2 because there's basically CO2 in the atmosphere that has the age of carbon in the ground inside of these, the oil fields in the ground. So how else would there be carbon in the atmosphere with the same age as 300 million year old like lipids in the ground? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. Yeah. What Okay, so yeah, I mean, you're just this is hysteria, and this is like again. Tell me why the carbon in the atmosphere is so high in the age, like compared to the natural CO2. It is. The ratio is high. It is. Yes, it is. Why else? Why else would it be there? No, no, no. Why? So you trust. So I'm just gonna say you trust the CO2 ppm scientists when it comes to them actually collecting this. That's not bubbles. It's actually the air pocket within this ice, the ice itself. So that's what they're actually when the hexagonal shape of the ice actually creates. Okay, yeah. So we're talking about why do you trust them then, but then you think that they're in a global cabal on everything else? Why do you trust these people? No, probably way more, honestly. No, this is hysteria. No, there's no, of course not. No, dude, you're just making this stuff up. Link it then. Link it. Link it. Link it. Link it. I'll pull it up right now. Link it. Yeah, it always happens. It happens. I'm here every time you wanna get your sources out and try this. The reality is the reason why there's such a consensus is because multiple fields and multiple, if we're talking about physics, chemistry, biology, all converging on the fact that humans are impacting the environment. And in order to think that humans are not impacting the environment is just willfully ignorant at this point. It's just it's a lesson in you don't even you so okay, so you trust wait, so I'm just going to be sure, like, you trust the scientific process enough to understand photosynthesis and to understand Rubisco and you understand the mechanism of how photosynthesis works, but you think that the same biologists are corrupted and we don't know what we're talking about in regards to climate change. Okay, so you're absolutely you're so you are yeah, this is exactly, you're just wrong, dude. No, but you know who the biggest person that pays me? Your mom. Yeah, your mom. Yeah, yeah, she pays me all the time. Yeah, well, usually it's in cash fat stacks after but your dad watches me all night too. So, yeah. No. No, you got actually dumpstered, dude. You got absolutely dumpstered. You got dumpstered. You got absolutely dumpstered. You got no. You got a baby crying? Are you are you got a baby crying there? Are you okay? Are you crying? It sounds like you're crying. Is that okay? Is that okay? I can't hear you. You got the crying baby in the back. I can't hear you. What was that? Notice that? Yeah. Is that okay? I can't hear you. Are you crashing out right now, dude? I can't hear you. Oh, are you crashing out again? Oh no. Oh, was that? Oh man. Are you okay? Dude, it's not the cows, it's you, dude. It's you. You're the one that's like, oh, I can hear you just. What was that? Is that all right? I can't hear you. Oh, yeah, that's so original, dude. Well, that's so original. Oh, you got your feelings hurt? You want to cry bully more? Oh, I'm so sorry about it. I'm so sorry. Prove what point? That you have no absolutely nothing what you're talking about and you're going to sit here and actually like, question all of biology and have nothing to say about it? Oh, all my fake science. And the chat's saying me that you're a flat earther too. So you're going to sit here and you're going to tell us about how photosynthesis works and the earth is flat at the same time? Oh, is that, but that's, do you think that the earth's flat? That, I mean, that's what chat's saying that you are. Do you believe the earth's flat? Bro, you're so lost, man. You're so lost. Guys, this is why the UK and the United States did so poorly versus COVID, because there's people like this guy that are so uneducated on this nonsense, and here they go. Oh my gosh, an ace 2, wow, an ace 2. They found ace 2. Wow. Oh my gosh, that's insane. Wow, I can't believe that. Yeah, it's just you have no idea what you're talking about. God, you're just getting dunked from issue to issue, dude. You have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, a globalist show. That's so original. Bro, you have no idea how the science of the ice core works and you're trying to source ppms. You have no idea how geology works and you're trying to discount all of geology for the you have no what? You got just dumpstered. I just strung you along to every topic that you wanted to bring up. Uh, what? What are you? I think you just embarrassed yourself entirely. I never insulted your mom because I shag her all the time. It's your dad that I absolutely dumpster. What's up, bro? No, not at all. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's true. It's the CEO. He's the CEO. Oh man. Yeah, we're all. Yeah, there is people. There are people in the world that are genuinely trying to do a good thing and that are actually trying to make the world a better place. I know that this is completely anathema to you because you are so greedy and you are so selfish that you just genuinely can't imagine actually trying to solve a problem other than food to mouth. But other people are actually trying to build up a better world where we actually solve problems. Is that okay? Is that okay? Yeah, you want to just fear monger more, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're actually just trying to improve like problems that humans are having so that kids and people in the future don't have to worry about people like you. Oh, taxes, you're gonna cry bully about that you have to pay taxes? You think because in your mind, you think that the Green New Deal and you think that Greta Thunberg has more of a detriment to your life than billionaires taking every cent that you have and just squeezing you out for pennies. Oh, you're just so mad. You're just so angry about any woman that's accredited or creates. Oh, you're so mad. It's true. It's true. Oh my gosh. It's true. I know. Yeah. Dude, dude, same thing. Dude, you think that I'm sitting here paid by some global Illuminati and I'm just sitting in my room in San Diego talking to my computer screen and you think that I'm a part of a global conspiracy. You're just out of you're just absolutely just you are rubbing two brain cells together trying to make a neural response in order to move your mouth right now. Oh, hey, guess what? Guess what? Last week I just founded my first nonprofit, so there you go, bud. You're looking at it. Are you mad? How mad are you right now? How mad? Oh, yeah, I'm all getting my funding. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what my shirt says. Make America vaccinated again. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Isn't it right? Yeah. Oh, wow, that's so wow, you're so original, dude. Have you is that the first word that you learned or something? Or you just is it? Does it? I don't think so. It looks like you're clinging on to whatever you can because you got dumpstered on the science and you don't know what you're talking about and you just got I'm just dragging you into the mud because you don't know anything about anything. So I can't. So what am I going to sit you and talk to you about? No, you don't. No, you don't. You didn't even understand that we could radio date carbon. You didn't know that. I literally had to teach you about that. Oh, and you don't even understand that we could date it and understand, and that's why how we understand. Yeah. No, you don't understand it. You don't understand it. You are disproving the same science that you are using in order to try to understand how this works, and you are using misinformation. You don't even understand how it works. You don't even get how they're using it. You don't even think you think that the same scientists that are doing the ice core data sampling are inside of a global Illuminati. Yes, you. So those are the only scientists that are outside of your globalist shill control. I don't know. You trust me. The nonsense comes out of your mouth without me, dude. I'm telling you that it already comes out. It dribbles out from your brain. That's dude, that doesn't even matter. We can link directly human activity from 1850 to today based directly because of human activity. We're still going through an ice age and we're going the opposite direction now. Yes. It's the change of direction. It is the change in amplitude of direction. Yes. Dude, it blows my mind that you're creating these artificial barriers when all these things happen, and as if there's any like global consensus on this at all. No, there's not. No, there's not. You are choosing to daisy like to pick these ridiculous points in time as if that is the in all when these points actually matter. When you also think that these people are a part of a global Illuminati that isn't doing anything. No, you didn't. You have no idea what you're even talking about. You think that we're all the scientists are a part of a global Illuminati and we're all paid shills. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, just oh, okay. So just okay. So, but as soon as you touch an ice core data, then there's specifically and the ones that enforce a narrative that you can support and you can create, you support those scientists. Okay, so yeah, it's exactly. So you don't support science, you support a ridiculous narrative that you can pitch in your brain and you can string together between your five brain cells. Melissa Fleming, no. Okay. Just crazy. This isn't how science works, dude. I don't care what some random person says. Melissa Fleming. I have no idea who. I have no idea what this is. It's again, and this random person. Who cares? I don't care who this person is. I don't care. It's some you've created this person as a straw man in your ridiculous conspiratorial arguments, and now like they're supposed to all who we care. It's like the people that say like Greta Thunberg is where like all of our stuff comes from. Oh, so it's just because she said that and she's a woman that's a scientist, you feel so threatened that you wanna say this and denigrate her, even though she hasn't done anything. Oh, so if you Google my specific blog post that I listen to, that I dribble and just suckle at, just like how you suckle at a king, you just so yeah, yeah, exactly. You do. You love being a king boy, and I don't care. I don't care. I, d- I don't care because this isn't how science works. Just what one person says. I don't even care. She probably dude, she probably guess what? She probably agrees like with what I'm saying. I don't care. I don't care. That's not how science works. We're going through 400 pages of IPCC reports. Yeah. Well, no shit. Yes, scientists. Yes, scientists. Wow, wow, wow. Scientists are going to support scientists? Whoa. Oh my God. Whoa, that's crazy. Wow. No, no, that's not how it works. No. That's not how it works. You don't just listen to all the scientists. It's about what you can prove with the study. And people like you, no, no, people like you don't have any scientists or any study to show. And that's why. Oh, did you just private your account? Is that what you did? Oh my gosh, you're so silly. You're so funny, dude. You're so afraid. You're so afraid. Because guess what what I am, I don't care about what she says. What I care about, the study says, dude. What she says on her personal time and her personal things that are taken out of quote and quote mined and clipped in order for her to put, it doesn't matter. Wait, what? I don't care what if you want to let like someone like bang your wife, that's fine. I don't care. You don't have to bring that into here. I don't care. I don't care what she who she is or what she's doing. It doesn't matter. I care about studies. I care about science. Great. That's sick. That's great. I don't care. I care about scientific consensus. I care about what we can actually show through the studies. No, I do. No, I do. No, what they can show through evidence and studies. That's what I actually care about. I don't care about someone that just makes an offhand comment and without anything to actually back up what they're saying. That's what you're dribbling out. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we should actually take the medical licenses of people that don't understand medical science and are pushing awful things that are hurting people. What's new? What else do you want? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we should take their medical licenses because they are doing harm to people. Yeah. Of course. Yeah, because I'm a scientist. Yeah. 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 I'm sorry you're so bothered by it. That's completely false. They're all tested and they have been tested rigorously and they're very safe. Do you know what a side effect of measles is? Do you know what a side effect of the disease is? Do viruses cause disease? Do viruses cause disease? So no, you're one of those terrain theory people. You're one of those terrain theory people. Because I know you. Because I know you. You think you're so smart. You think that you're such a skeptic and you're just such a unique individual snowflake, but I can see right through you. I know exactly the type of person that you are. I've been talking to dozens of people like you a day. I'm not what? No. No, it's not. What are you talking about? How would you get a virus from the spike protein? Dude, you don't even understand how an immune system works in regards to a vaccine. That is wild. You get COVID-like symptoms, but you don't get actual full-blown COVID. You don't even understand. You don't even think that viruses exist. You don't think that viruses are real. No, it's not. No, it's not. Again, it's not. No, no, you don't understand how vaccines work. No, you don't understand how vaccines work. You don't understand what's actually happening. When you get vaccinated, you aren't getting sick. You have an immune response. You have your immune system creating the antibodies to that event, to those antigens. You're not getting sick because of how the viral recombination happens. Yeah, yes, of course they are. Of course they are, because you've never heard of DNA mutations before. You don't understand how viral recombination works. Do you understand that evolution exists? You probably don't because you're a flat earther. You're a flat earther that denies a germ theory. So, of course, you don't believe in evolution. So, you have no idea what's going on. Nope, that's not true. Again, you have no idea what you're talking about. Your immune system does have that capability, but it's the capability of an entire genome to recombine that it doesn't have it. A single point mutations, somatic hypermutations, your immune system can take care of that no problem. Anyway, yeah, you should probably leave. You should probably leave with your tail between your legs because you're just getting dog walked on everything. anywhere that you want. God, you think that you're so smart too. It's so funny. I'm so happy that you came in here so I could just dog walk all 5 brain cells that you have left in your body. Do you have to have it each brain cell? Does each brain cell have to like operate one top lip and the bottom lip, or can you actually have all 5 brain cells like operate a lip one lip at a time? How does that work? How does someone live that is an undifferentiated clump of cells like yourself? Oh, you're so mad. You're so mad. You're crying so hard right now. Oh, no, you have people like you, dude, because you have no idea what's actually happening. When we have measles and we have 30 different other diseases rampaging through our communities, we're gonna have people like you to blame. And we're archiving this video so people in the future can sit here and watch and laugh just like at you, just like how we are laughing right now. You don't believe in that viruses cause disease. I know you believe that. Okay, say it. Say it. Say viruses cause disease. You believe in germ theory. Oh, really? Oh, really? Okay, so viruses have been isolated then. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so you're one of those lab leakers. I mean, of course, but that doesn't make. I'm not surprised about. No, of course it's not. Of course, you have no idea. There's no scientific proof of lab leak as well. No, no. You really do. You need to understand. No, you don't understand. You don't understand. No, no. God, you're just so dumb. You're just so dumb. You have no idea what you're talking about. No, that's not how it works. There would be no, no, no. You can actually you can do genome sequencing of viruses in bat coronavirus caves. We have all the capabilities and all the building blocks, and we've done sampling every single like drain and spot on the wet market. So we have the viral RNA genome. We have the raccoon dog DNA. We have them stall by stall. We know that it's there. That's just the truth. Okay, you just because you don't understand what DNA sequencing is and you don't understand what I'm talking about, that is, I mean, I'm telling you that we can link the building blocks from the bat coronavirus caves to the wet market to the SARS-CoV-2. Just because you don't understand that, I'm trying to lay it out. I've literally laid this out for my eight-year-old before, so maybe I'm like literally talking to someone. Yeah, we have the what do you show the ACTs and Gs? You want the nucleotides? Are you okay? Are you okay? Worobee 2022. You've never seen any of these papers? You have no idea what you're talking about? You don't like you obviously don't because you don't understand what I said and I was literally giving you the exact information. I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, we have stall by stall evidence. I mean, there's stall by stall. Are you okay? Are you all right? Do you understand what you're seeing right now? This is stall by stall evidence. They have stall by stall raccoon dogs, birds. They have every single stall, every single thing they know where it came from. We literally are, and people question it all the time. Like, what are you talking about? You literally are, and we talk about it constantly. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, you're so tired. You're so tired, dude. You're just getting absolutely dog walked. Yeah, just took the piss out of you so bad, dude. Dude, you're such a pathetic. You're so bad, dude. Keep getting dog walked. You can come back anytime. Anytime, dude. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, your dad does too. All right, see ya. God damn. Oh, why are they all the same? Why are they all the same? They're all the same person. And they all just refuse. They all think that they are the same. They are the most unique and beautiful butterfly every single time. They think that he has no source, Ruben. He has no source. There is no source, Ruben. There is no source, bro. He has blogs and stuff. He was talking about this stuff. Like this person, like this is another one. This random person is like the architect of all the maladies that exist in the world today. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on, man. And it's like, who cares what she says, dude? Even if she said they're all bought and paid for. Okay, I don't know what she says. I don't care what she says. These people that the right and these conspiracy theory people attack, it's honestly better not even to engage with what they're saying, because that is a spiral of just insane things. And honestly, Charity, I was thinking about like bringing up her quote. Maybe I should in the future, but the idea of yeah, it's just crazy. No, this his other source on the percentage of CO2. No, Ruben, he is talking about the amount of CO2 that is in the atmosphere and the amount of CO2 that humans emit. And yeah, of course, as a percentage, it is small, right? But that is wrong. That's a wrong way of thinking about it. It's literally what you should be looking at it is the ratio. How much emissions would there be without humans putting emissions into the atmosphere, and what happens now because of that? We have it here. See, like it's this graph right here, bro. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, so CO2 from fossil fuels and industry. Okay, it's the bottom thing, right? Look at it. Look at it. Look at it go up from 1850 to now. 1850 was zero. Now look where it is, right? These are greenhouse gas emissions, gigaton of CO2. Okay, those are CO2 from fossil fuels and industry, the CO2 from land use and forestry, and then non-CO2 emissions. Okay, now look what's happening. These are the different greenhouse gas emissions, right? Carbon dioxide up to 410, methane, which is really powerful, super powerful, nitrous oxide. Now look at this. Wow, the global surface temperatures have now increased. Wow, in observance to that. And now we can change and we can look. Observed warming is driven by emissions from human activities, with greenhouse gas warming partly masked by aerosol cooling. So the observed warming, how much of that is from total influence? It's like 1-to-1. Like, bro, like we understand this so well. We understand the whole system so well. And the idea to question climate scientists who have dedicated their lives to studying the ice core data, and then to use the ice core data itself in order to refute the scientists that made the conclusion from the data themselves. Like, come on. He's scared of carbon taxes. Sure. Yeah, I can understand like that. But guess what, dude? Like, we should make the world better, right? We should make and mitigate these harms while making the material conditions for people better. I think we can do both at the same time. That's my whole point, and that's what I think that we should do. That's the big thing. All right. Well, guys, I got to do dad mode tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. This is an all-week climate change special. Carbon isotopes 12, 13, and 14 ratios have shifted due to human activity and climate change. Exactly, F1. Exactly. And that's the whole point. It's the ratios. It's not the total percentage of what humans are doing. We're talking about the ratios, and I was talking about that, F1. Basically, the age of the CO2 that we are putting into and we are emitting from our engines match the age of the oil that's in the ground still. So we are taking CO2 from the ground and putting it into the atmosphere, and we are changing that. We are changing that atmospheric ratio. Yeah, Ephon, it's I don't understand how else to say it, man. It's so frustrating. It's so like I honestly had thought Ephon, I thought like he was going to because he thinks he's a flat earther that doesn't agree with germ theory. I was like, oh, he's gonna radiocarbon dating is he's not gonna agree with it. That's where most conspiracy people go, right? Because it's like they're already a flat earther, so of course all of the scientists are all coming together in order to conspire against the radiocarbon dating as well. It's just crazy, man. It's so infuriating. Yes, my dad's solar plant was shut down by Exxon in Mexico. What? Are you serious? No way, Megan. I had no idea that they had that power. That's crazy. Wow. Wow. All right, Megan. Well, in the 80s. Wow. Well, your dad's a boss. That's awesome. Yeah, I got to go to bed, guys. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Ruben, for coming up. I appreciate you. Um, I agree, Hazel. I agree. That wasn't a joke intentionally, but what did I say? What did I say? I didn't realize that they had kind of power in her comment. Oh, that's a very good pun. Guys, thank you guys so much. Oh, shoot, Geoguessr. Okay, Geoguessr. All right. Cancel, 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 cancel. All right. Thank you, Kathleen. Whoa, I got all these things on right now. Whoa. We'll do Geoguessr for sure. Thank you guys to Patreons. Helen's a legend, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for all the Patreon support. It really helps. Thank you so much. Because I really am not being paid. I'm not a farmer shill. Farmer shill. I'm honestly, man, at this point, I'm shopping. Let me know. Whatever you got. Um, Kathleen. Oh, sorry. Patreons first. Thank you, Helen. Thank you so much. Mrs. Dr. G. Russell Bowden 8664, a legend from YouTube chat, guys. Incredible. Thank you so much for that one, man. Appreciate you. Ado, Call Me Ness, Rapture, and MB Human. Thank you, guys. Also, the top gifters, thank you so much. Kathleen, Call Me Bob, Helen, Ruben, Mackenzie, Charity, BCO. To the top likers, thank you guys so much. User, Bare Necessity, Helen, Charity, Share, Ruben, and it's Mackenzie. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it real quick. Geoguessr. All right, guys. IKF7B. IKF7B. Geoguessr. Thank you, Heather. Thank you. We'll just pause for a little bit. I get so mad when people think that I'm really paid like in order to do this. It really does make me mad. I don't know. I feel like it's such like a personal attack, for like who I am and what I'm doing and why I'm here, that I do think that I can like push their shit in a little bit. I really do feel like that. It has to be okay. Yes, Efon, exactly, dude. I'm like literally just a guy here and exactly. So I feel like it's a personal attack personal attack to me, It really is. IKF7B. That's why I do joke. So I don't know. I don't know. That's why I kind of like make the mom joke whenever that happens, just because it's like It does trigger me a little bit. It does. It really does make me mad. Because I'm literally... Okay. 4 people. We got IKF7B. If you are trying to play Geoguessr with us. Geoguessr party, guys. Scan the QR code or put in the party code IKF7B. Yeah, I don't know. It's just so frustrating because it's like, if you did think that there was a global Illuminati, you know, people like me would be the exact kind of person that you would try to bolster, because it's just a scientist that's independent, that understands science enough in order to be a whistleblower on, you know, whatever is happening. I would literally be that guy. You know what I mean? So it's like the idea to like come after me of all people is so wild to me, because of the honesty you have in interpreting info to make decisions and act. Yeah, thank you, Afon. Exactly, dude. Like I would have every financial and personal reason in order to, like, you know, blow up some conspiracy, right? Okay, guys. Anyone else that's trying to come? We got 4 here. IKF7B. Yeah, Helen, I think that's true too. I think that gets into their whole thing. Like, that's the whole reason why they talk about like the Rockefeller Education Network and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, I'm programmed in order to say this stuff or whatever. Okay, anyone else that's trying to come? Anyone else that's trying to what? Mackenzie, is that? Did you get in? Oh, I think it is. I think that is Mackenzie. Okay, cool. All right, guys, we're gonna go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Joe, yeah, nice. Gotcha. All right, here we go. Please mute the stream. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Dude. Dude, the side looks like Europe. Usually the United States has like solid roads on the side, you know? This is so far from anything. Are you serious? Dude, that looks like moss from like the UK or something. I'm getting like weird. I don't know why, but I'm getting UK vibes. Okay, really wide license plate there. I'm feeling like some like I think it's like some. Dude, imagine driving on this as the Google Street View guy. Oh no, I'm turned around. I don't know which way to go. Oh, there we go. That's a BMW. Okay, we gotta go the other way. Oh my god. Come on. There's no way that this was like a public road that you just had to like drive down anything. Okay, 15 seconds. Okay. I'm just gonna put it like in Ireland, Dublin, outside of Dublin. I think that's close enough. I don't know. What? Of course. Ah, Lanus, of course. Outside of Orenboro. Outside of Sweden. Dang, Sweden, that's a good one to have. Nobody got Sweden though. Norway though, that was a good guess. Lively Island, that was a good one. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's so flat, so topography. That's a good one. Scandinavia, that was a good guess, Alphon. Oh my god, are you serious? Guys, can we just get a single... Can we get a single thing? Dude, is this for real? Do I just keep clicking in one direction, or do I go back and just kind of like... Dude, this is even worse than the other one. I'm feeling it. Whoa. Okay, so it snows here, and it loses all its deciduous trees. Oh my gosh, it's back. I can't go back any forward. Okay, so it snows. I'm thinking like, dude, Moscow. I'm thinking Asia. I'm thinking, um, not Moscow, but Europe, Russia. Mongolia. I don't know why, but I'm feeling Mongolia. But those telephone poles are so weird. Oh, here we go. Oh. Dude. I don't know what that is. That is Russian though. That has to be Russian. I think it's outside of Mongolia. I don't know why I'm feeling Mongolia. I'm feeling Mongolia. That was my first one. I think that's Russian. I feel like that's Russian. That doesn't look like the Russian that I'm seeing though. Oh my gosh. Wow, Bulgaria. Dude, this is hard. Hungary. Nice check. Damn, dude. That's a tough one, dude. Dude, I'm getting smoked here. Next one. Bulgaria. Nice floopity. Yay, a city. A city. Okay. .com. Le Petit. So is this France? Is this French? Teodoc? Okay, what is this? Villanueva. Santos de Gante. Seguro. Okay, so this definitely looks Spanish to me. I didn't see any websites though. How can I not see any websites on that thing? Central Multima. .com again. Thinking .com. So it's either like Mexico or Spain or any. Oh. Oh God. No. 8 seconds. I'm not gonna be able to get to there. Oh, we just dropped by a freaking. Oh. What? Oh my gosh, got lucky. I just dropped it from the. Wow. Okay. Villanueva. There it is. Haiti? No. No. Villanueva. They're in the middle of Spain. Dang. Okay. Second to last. Goats everywhere. .com. Dude, what's up with the websites doing .com now? What's up with that? Why can't they Oh my gosh, guys. This is I'm feeling like Australia or something. Look at the all the all the dirt. Is that Australian dirt? There might be a place in Africa. Entry. Okay, so it's English. I think it's like Brisbane. A little bit more like arid. Outside more equatorial. I think these are Australian plants. These trees. Oh man. Look at that latitude though. I got so right on the latitude. Botswana. Dang, dude. Well, I was right. I was right on with the latitude. Dang. That was a tough one. 2 points. This is not my day, guys. This is not my Senegal. Dang, Missa's killing it. Last round. Dude, there is nothing. This looks like the United States. Just by the guardrails. Oh, yellow. Yeah, okay, so that could be like what? Arizona? Nevada? No, that's a wide license plate. So we're in Europe again. Really? Europe? This is Europe? Where in Europe looks like this? Dude. Ah, these ones are so tough because it's like I don't even know what I'm supposed to be like zooming in on. You know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to see? I don't. It's not mountainous. Not very. There's. I wouldn't say it's equatorial. It seems like wide license plates. Um, wide license plates. This doesn't look like. Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna go with Australia again. I don't know. Dang, dude. Wow, is it Israel? Wow. 1 point. That was awful. That was so bad. Dude, good job. Dude, those were so tough. Those were so tough, guys. That was a really good one. I thought it was New Mexico too, Cam. I was like, it looked very. Oh, Amy, you gotta keep track of the time, dude. That was your second time. You didn't. Yeah, last night you did the same thing. All right, guys. Nice, guys. I'm so happy that everyone's going. What does my shirt say? Make America vaccinated again. Boom. Make America vaccinated again. You can get it in my TikTok shop. I have it. If you go to my drgregshow.com, I got a 15% discount on there. So, and yeah. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, F1. Thank you. Oh, weird, Mackenzie. I'm sorry about that. Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you to the Patreons. Thank you to the super fans. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you. I'm not paid by Big Pharma. I do have a family and I do live in San Diego. So I do appreciate you. So thank you. I am gotta go, but let's hang out tomorrow, okay? We know. Exactly. Have fun. Exactly. You guys know. You guys know. You guys know. I appreciate you guys. Um. All right, guys. But yeah, it's been fun. I'll see you tomorrow. It'll be good. We're gonna continue making our way through the IPCC report. Still got a lot to learn, and yeah, more questions on that. More questions on climate change. Honestly, probably we'll watch the Climate Town on recycling. And that's a pretty good episode. So that'll be fun to react to. This whole week, guys, it's gonna be all the environment. We're gonna do just the environment stuff, okay? So that's what I want to do. So we're gonna change it up a little bit, do a bit more environmental focus, like how the environment's doing, what's happening in the environment, how do we know what's happening in the environment, what we can do, technologies to help save the environment, right? We can't just be all doom and gloom. I really do think that there is hope. There is hope right now, but we have to do it. And we have to do it fast. So, let's do it. All right, guys, we are out. This time for real though. All right, guys. Same time, same bat channels. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Love you for being here. It's been so much fun. Truly thankful for you guys. I appreciate you. Thankful for you all. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace. Peace. Dude, this song's so good, YouTube. It's so good. Let's go. All right, see you, YouTube. Peace.